Wow.
You wonder if it's one of those things people just go once and then they're like, all right, I've seen it, I've done it.
$25, that's a lot of dough.
Pretty
Teach
steep.
the kids to just rattle the couch during the movie, you know what I mean? I get the
Save
same
a few
effect.
bucks.
Sure.
Well, NBA free agency is about to start and some big names are on the market.
Find out which team is reportedly interested in one of them coming up next in sports. So between innings in the ninth, tempers flaring up between division rivals. This was Cincinnati and the Cubs. Anthony Rizzo approaches the Reds' dugout, and that's when it all begins. Benches, bullpens clear. Both teams get tangled up. Lots of pushing and shoving, a lot of childish behavior. Rizzo and Aroldis Chapman actually would have to be separated. Amazingly, no punches were thrown. If this had been a hockey game, there'd be lots of punches, right, Ray? Instead, it's baseball, so they're gentlemen, and they decided not to throw any punches.
Yeah, look at those gentlemen. Well, stay with us. Your exclusive Fox 21 10 o'clock forecast is next. Yeah, you can't say the same thing for that Lamborghini. Oh, that is painful to watch.
$300,000 right down the tubes.
Oh,
yeah,
awful. Poor guy.
That does hurt.
I think that valet got fired.
You think?
That's what I think.
We'll get an investigative team on that. We'll check that one out. I'll tell you, it was hot out there early today. Then those storms moved in. What happens for tomorrow? We'll have that forecast coming up next.
The Colorado pot rush has brought in a lot of money to the state. Business is booming in dispensaries, and tourism has also seen a boost.
But some less obvious businesses are cashing in on the cannabis craze, including a Denver spa. Check it out.
Knots, you can feel the knots. And like when you find one, you just kind of hang out on it, get it to loosen up, work it from different angles.
It looks like any other massage,
So how you feeling, Judd?
I feel fantastic.
but this one has a twist.
It kind of tingles a little bit.
Here at Lodo Massage in downtown Denver, there's cannabis in the cream.
The cannabis acts as an anti-inflammatory in the lotion, so by having that, it allows the body to heal quicker.
Lodo has been offering the Mile High Massage since 420, and since then, their business has tripled.
It's the best massage that I've ever had in my life, and that's coming from an ex-massage therapist.
This Apothecana cream brings Judd Wiley back every month.
It allows them to work on my more tender spots. I have 2 bulging discs in my low back and degenerative disc disease in my neck. So it allows them to work on very sensitive areas that wouldn't be as accessible to them.
You get the people who are worried about it, like not passing drug tests and different things like that. And then you also get the people who are like super skeptical about it. Are you doing okay with the pressure?
So will the Mile High Massage get you stoned?
Well, here's a hint. Do you really think I'd get high on TV?
It doesn't give you high because, I mean, you're not ingesting it. It's purely topical.
Are people disappointed for long?
I think some people are, but I think when they feel the pain relief that it has, that it doesn't really matter.
And now I'll walk you through the Mile High Massage.
Starting to feel a little bit tingly, like Icy Hot or Bengay.
In a lot of ways, it feels like a normal massage, like nothing, it doesn't smell skunky. That was my concern. I thought I was going to smell like weed coming out of here.
Are you doing okay?
Just relax.
I'm not stoned as far as I know. We might have to drug test me tomorrow morning, but it feels really good.
Taylor says anyone suffering from chronic pain will benefit, and now she's hoping the older generation will jump on board.
Who are, you know, suffering from all these like back injuries just from wear and tear over time, and who are skeptical about medical marijuana just because they grew up with it being so illegal.
Other folks that stand to benefit, Taylor.
Like 100% of the people that come in and see me are Mile High now.
Lodo Massage, and the next person to creatively capitalize on the cannabis craze.
Now, so these massages, they're $65 an hour, pretty standard for a massage, and here is that lotion. So take a little sniff.
Yeah.
It doesn't smell like marijuana at all.
No, it doesn't. It just smells like massage lotion.
Yeah, and I called the place, Apothecana. I called them, and they said, really, you could bathe in this all day, and you want to get high. So there you go.
All right, good to know. Very cool story.
IRS officials maintain there was nothing political about their targeting of conservative groups in 2011.
But now new emails from the woman at the center of the scandal may prove otherwise. As Fox 21's national reporter Christine Frizzau explains, Lois Lerner's emails reveal a whole new chapter in what she thought of conservatives, the Tea Party, and Republicans.
Great time to walk the dogs.
Yes, it is time to walk the
Good
dogs.
segue, right?
Beautiful. How sweet is this guy?
Scruffy's so good that we invited him to the desk to participate with us.
I think he wants to be a permanent member of the team.
And he is up for adoption. Where do they go? Where do you go to find out?
The Humane Society, the Pikes Peak region.
You bet.
Yeah. So
All right, so
I don't
be
think
careful.
it's gonna. Oh, he's just gonna take a little nap right here. I don't think it's gonna take him very long to find a good home.
I'm jealous.
Oh, you are a doll. Well, thank you so much for joining us. For news anytime, head to our website, fox21news.com. Have a great weekend.
A recent case of child abuse in Pueblo is now a death investigation. A 2-year-old girl named Chelsea was taken to the hospital on August 21st, and this morning she died from her injuries.
And you might have noticed your coworkers doing something really strange in the break room, putting butter in their morning coffee, and we've got it right here. Let's give it a shot because we've got a whole lot of butter in there.
You first.
Okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
It's gross.
That is not good.
Yeah.
Not good.
It tastes like what you would think butter and coffee tastes like. It tastes greasy.
A recent case of child abuse in Pueblo is now a death investigation after a toddler dies from her injuries that she got in her own home. Here are the facts first. A 2-year-old girl named Chelsea was taken to the hospital on August 21st. This morning, she died from her injuries, which police believe was the result of abuse. She was living with 36-year-old Paul Finn and his wife, 23-year-old Sarah Finn, in a foster to adopt program. Both were arrested for child abuse. Fox 21's Sam Baranowski joins us with the latest on what happened to this little girl. Sam. The race to be the next mayor of Colorado Springs heats up, even with the election more than 7 months away. 2 candidates announced their plans today. Fox 21's Aisha Morales spoke to them. Aisha.
Could be one of the last 90s of the summer, I guess.
It might be.
Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you at 9.
The El Paso County Sheriff finally sits down and discusses these turbulent last few months. Fox 21's Aisha Morales brings us tonight's top story. Aisha. A bizarre situation in the Colorado Springs Police Department headquarters last night. A man walked in, exposed himself, and then took off streaking. Eventually, 38-year-old Keith Gardner was taken into custody for indecent exposure. Now, according to police, Gardner walked into the lobby of Police Operations Center on South Nevada at about 8 last night and took his pants off. Police say Gardner ran away before any officers arrived, but was found about a block away running naked. Well, Pueblo students were certainly feeling the heat today. As temperatures hit triple digits, students were trying to stay cool. Some schools in Pueblo have mechanical or evaporative systems, while others have no AC at all. A bizarre situation at the Colorado Springs Police Department headquarters last night as a man apparently walked in, exposed himself, and then took off streaking. Eventually, 38-year-old Keith Gardner was taken into custody for indecent exposure. Now, according to police, Gardner walked into the lobby of Police Operations Center on South Nevada at about 8 last night and took his pants off. Police say Gardner ran away before any officers arrived, but he was found about a block away running naked.
Well, and after that story, how about some good news tonight?
The one day I faked sick in all of my childhood, the air conditioning broke at 9 a.m. and everybody got to go home.
See, I can just hear my grandfather saying, you know, we walked to school uphill both ways.
Yeah,
and
or pansies.
15 inches of snow and, you know, all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking in Estonia, President Obama made his strongest statements yet against the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria following the beheading of another American journalist.
He said the gruesome video of the execution also underscores the need for a global alliance to confront ISIS.
Fox's Leland Vitteret has more from Washington. A historic hotel in Canyon City is getting spruced up thanks to a nonprofit foundation invested in its full restoration.
Fox 21's Kristen Leone has a look inside the Hotel St. Cloud.
Tonight's Fox 21 Healthy Living, yoga isn't just for adults.
Now little ones are reaping the benefits. Fox 21's Allison Mastrangelo takes us to a toddler yoga class.
One of the nation's largest drugstore chains quits smoking, that is.
Yep, Fox's Neil Cavuto looking at the day in business.
Stay with us. Your exclusive Fox 21 10 o'clock forecast is next.
Last night I started a fire. in a fireplace.
Oh, boy, man.
Just to be clear.
I was concerned that you're a pyromaniac.
No, it already feels like that time of year.
And it'll
up
feel
next to the fire.
even more like that coming up on Friday.
All right, good stuff. Thanks, Terry.
More children are showing up in Colorado Springs emergency rooms with a serious respiratory virus, and some are at more risk than others. Plus, the first case of rabbit fever is found in Colorado Springs. And one southern Colorado school district is opting out of the new government-mandated food guidelines.
Now, live, this is Fox 21 News at 6:30.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Lauren Ferrara. The Children's Hospital here in Colorado Springs is reporting an increase in kids being treated for respiratory illnesses. And it's likely the enterovirus. Fox 21's Sam Baranowski takes a look at the latest numbers and the groups most at risk in tonight's top story. Sam. Scary stuff. Thanks, Sam. Well, rabbit fever has been found in Colorado Springs. The El Paso County Public Health Department says a wild rabbit in northeast Colorado Springs has tested positive for tularemia, or rabbit fever. A resident in the Park Vista subdivision near Austin Bluffs and Stetson Hills found several dead rabbits and notified the health department. No human cases have been reported. For information on what to do if you find a dead rabbit or for the signs of the infection, head to our website. That's fox21news.com. Well, it is mid-September and we saw highs in the 80s today. Terry takes a look at the next few hours in the Fox Fastcast. Hey, Terry. Making headlines across America, 3,000 military personnel are headed to West Africa to combat the deadly Ebola outbreak. They'll create new facilities and train health workers. President Barack Obama says this is the largest international response in the history of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. And the White House reiterating ground troops won't be sent into a combat role in Iraq or Syria. That follows today's appearance before a Senate panel by the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Martin Dempsey, and Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel. But Dempsey tells senators if Obama's strategy of expanding airstrikes and training Syrian rebels fails, he may recommend the use of ground forces. A grand jury will now decide whether NASCAR driver Tony Stewart will be charged in the August death of a fellow driver. The prosecutor could have determined there was not enough evidence to support charges and dropped the case, but instead reviewed the evidence and decided to take it to the grand jury. Stewart's car struck and killed Kevin Ward Jr. at a dirt track race in New York. That's when Ward climbed out of his car after it had spun while racing alongside Stewart. Police need your help finding a man they say beat a man with a fire poker. Colorado Springs police say 49-year-old Eric Chacon was arguing with a woman near South Carefree and Powers on Monday evening at about 6:15. The woman called another man to pick her up, and police say when that man arrived, Chacon hit him multiple times in the face with a metal fireplace poker. The man was taken to the hospital and had surgery. So if you have any information about where Chacon is, call police or Crime Stoppers at 634-STOP. And we're learning more about the death of an elderly man in Chaffee County. 92-year-old Edwin Bartheld was found dead in the crawl space of a house in the old mining town of Turret on Friday. Autopsy results out today say Bartheld was shot and killed with a .22 caliber bullet. But they still don't know if that death was an accident, suicide, or homicide. When Bartheld's body was found, sheriff's deputies also found a whole cache of explosives and the chemicals used to make them. Today, when they returned, deputies discovered two 50-pound bags of ammonium nitrate that had detonators attached to them. They were removed and disposed of. Investigators are still combing through that property. Schools in southern Colorado are adjusting to new government-mandated snack food regulations. What's called the Smart Snacks ruling passed and became effective this school year. It will require schools to follow strict guidelines when it comes to what snacks can be sold to students. Now, they can't sell junk food. Also, calories, sodium, and fat is regulated. Many school districts are sticking to the guidelines, like District 11 in Colorado Springs. But District 38 in Monument has chosen to opt out of the high school level for a few reasons.
The kiddos aren't eating the foods that are required under this new federal guideline. And in addition, because of these federal requirements, the kiddos at the high school level that come in and eat in our cafeterias versus just driving off campus and eating junk food is going up.
Now, the assistant superintendent says that's why District 38 decided to create their own program where high school students have more choices on healthy foods. It's absorbing the cost for the free lunch program since it's not accepting the federal aid. Dinosaurs roamed the earth millions of years ago and left behind a lot of information about the past. And today, researchers and paleontologists were able to look inside dinosaur fossils using a CT scan. The scan was done at Powers Pet Emergency Hospital and allowed researchers to see for the first time inside an alligator garfish. This allows them to get a better understanding of its skeletal structure.
In the old days, if we wanted to see what was inside some of these fossils, we'd have to very slowly and painstakingly take them completely apart. And on an animal that's got 10,000 scales on it, still preserved all in place, that's just not something that we really wanted to do with these critters.
Anthony says they plan to do more scans in the future to keep learning as much as possible about other fossils. We have some good news out of Fort Carson. 150 soldiers are back home tonight after an early morning homecoming. Members of the 4th Infantry Brigade Combat Team 4th ID arrived at the Special Event Center around 3:45 this morning. The soldiers deployed to Afghanistan in March for a 9-month deployment, but came home early because of the troop production overseas. Welcome home, gang. Well, some good news for Colorado beer lovers thanks to a bumper crop. We'll show you what has brewmasters rejoicing and Colorado farmers reaping the benefits. And marriage can be a roller coaster ride, so why not say your vows on one? But first, stay with us. Terry will have your complete forecast right after the break. A man has been arrested in connection with a house fire that happened in northeastern Colorado Springs Saturday morning. Colorado Springs fire officials say a fire started in this house on Chasewood Loop around 1:45 a.m. That's near the intersection of Woodman Road and Black Forest Road. 26-year-old Jacob Warren was arrested and charged with first-degree arson, third-degree arson, and bribing a witness or victim. No one was home at the time of the fire, but the home suffered significant damage. New tonight, airmen taking their enlistment or officer appointment oaths can now choose to leave out the words, "So help me God." Now, this policy change comes after an atheist airman at Crete Air Force Base in Nevada struck out the words on his Department of Defense re-enlistment paperwork, going against a policy that prohibits omissions.
Now, can either one of you do the hula hoop?
I'm awful.
I'm terrible.
It used to be
so easy.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I could do it all day.
Yeah.
I should admit this, but my wife and I have a hula hoop downstairs.
Oh, jeez.
I can't do it anymore.
Fun times at Terry's.
What's the deal? I can't. I wish I could have fun times.
Yeah,
I can't
it'll swing around about 4 times and then fall.
It just falls down.
The hips don't lie, Terry.
That's for sure.
The school year is in full swing, which means many families have finished up their back-to-school shopping.
But one Colorado Springs organization is giving a free shopping trip to thousands of kids who can't afford new clothes. Here are the facts first. The Assistance League sponsors Operation School Bell each year. They receive nominations for kids in need and give them a free shopping spree. The Assistance League gives elementary students $60, middle schoolers get $70, and high schoolers have a budget of $80. Fox 21's Sam Baranowski went shopping with families today, and she joins us with more on their experience. Sam.
That's a tough choice. Would you rather be thin or young?
We hit the streets to find out what women would choose. The surprising results coming up, but first, Terry's going to weigh in. Thin or young, Terry?
At this point in my life, young sounds pretty good.
We told you yesterday that after a 22-year partnership, the Sky Sox and Rockies were parting ways. And now we know who the Sky Sox signed with. They'll be the AAA affiliate of the Milwaukee Brewers. Well, that means Joe doesn't have to wear my Astros rainbow jersey. Well, the deal lasts through the 2016 season. I love those ceremonies.
That's always a great story.
Well, more Americans are single rather than married, and those numbers are growing.
A Chick-fil-A restaurant is accused of discriminating against an employee battling breast cancer.
A woman claims she was demoted after coming back from medical leave, but as Jacqueline Allen reports, the store owner says the decision has nothing to do with her health. After passing legislation to keep the government funded and authorizing the training of Syrian rebels, Congress left for a scheduled break, and they won't be back in Washington until November. While President Obama welcomed its passage, lawmakers still need to tackle a bigger debate over the administration's Middle East strategy later this year. Mike Emanuel has the latest from Washington. We are more than 780 days away. That's more than 2 years from the 2016 presidential election. But for those eyeing the Oval Office, it seems there's no time to waste. Fox 21's national reporter Christine Frizzell takes a look at the early start to the season and what it means. Open enrollment for Obamacare starts again in 2 months, but there are still safety and privacy concerns surrounding the enrollment website, healthcare.gov. A report by the investigative arm of Congress, the Government Accountability Office, shows the website still has room for improvement. The report comes after a test server was infected over the summer with malware that spews spam. Officials say no sensitive data was stolen from the site. Well, you thought airline fees were bad. Wait until you see what the rental car company could be charging you. Fox's Brenda Butner has more. Next, the county will meet on December 1st to approve the transition plan for this resolution. A Colorado mom is shocked at what the Uber app charged her for a ride home from a concert. Stay with us. Your exclusive Fox 21 10 o'clock forecast is next. Days like this just put you in such a good mood.
You just want to put it in a bottle and save it. Save it for the middle of winter.
Yeah, January, this would come in handy.
Yeah.
Thanks, Terry. New tonight, a free race meant to replace the canceled Boulder Marathon will not go on as planned. The decision comes because organizers say they don't have enough time to get the proper permits. Now, the event would have been October 5th, the same day as the Boulder Marathon was scheduled to take place. Marathon director Jeff Mason canceled the original race last Friday, saying he couldn't get the permits because of changes to the course made after the death at a half marathon in Boulder in May. The decision angering many runners who'd already paid their entry fees and made travel arrangements. The 5th annual Warrior Games starts on Sunday. This competition features 200 wounded service members and veterans from 5 service branches. Now, some of the athletic events include cycling, archery, swimming, volleyball, shooting, wheelchair basketball, and track and field. Fox 21's Allison Mastrangelo was able to catch up with some of the athletes. The Syrian government is accused of once again using chemical weapons. An Iraqi leader narrowly escapes an assassination and an awkward moment at the UN. Those stories and more making headlines around the world.
All right, we have some breaking news for you tonight. Colorado Springs police are investigating a reported stabbing.
Yeah, they say it happened on Flintwood Street in the southeast part of the city.
Now, police say one woman was taken to the hospital, and so far she has unknown injuries.
And they continue to search for a suspect. If you have any information, call police. The city is hoping to break ground sometime this spring. The total cost for the project is $9.8 million.
Halloween spending will be up this year. That's according to the National Retail Federation.
And consumers are definitely not afraid to go all out this year as the economy continues to get back on its feet. Fox 21's Aisha Morales has the numbers for us. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Lauren Ferrara. Well, the storms were bound to show up sometime. Mark Bouillon is in for Terry tonight. He takes a look at the next few hours in the Fox Fastcast. Hey, Mark. An emotional day for a Colorado family as their daughter's killer, Jacob Van Winkle, is sentenced to 3 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. Van Winkle killed a mother and her 2 children back in March and sexually assaulted her surviving daughter. On top of the life sentences, he'll also serve an additional 256 years. This means Van Winkle will most certainly die in prison.